question. So, what brings you here in the Philippines? What was your story why you're here?
Hello, everybody. I come to the Philippines because I was working at John George at the Mark Hotel. And as you know, a lot of people coming from overseas to work in the hotel industry. And I met a lot of Filipinos, a lot of people from all over the world. But one Filipino actually stuck out. So we were working together, and I started to talk to her to find out what she did for fun after work. And she told me she'd like to volunteer at the local food pantry, which really caught my interest very much. So one day I asked her, let's go together and work together out of work. So one thing led to another. I asked her if I could court her, and we became boyfriend and girlfriend. Now after that, her year was up, so she had to come back home. So I said to myself, okay, I'll apply for her visa if she's willing to have to come back to America. Then I found out it could take 1 to 2 years. So I didn't want to wait that long, so I decided to come to the Philippines to be with her and marry her.
How about you, Ernie? What was your story?
I have 3 words as well. I'm here all for love. Yeah, my wife's actually Filipina as well, so I could just say ditto and then the story is over. I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada, and my wife actually immigrated to Canada. So we met in Vancouver, BC, Canada. We've been living there for about 7 years. I proposed there, got married there. We had our first kid there, second kid, third kid there. And then after the third kid, we actually decided to do a little bit of traveling. And we've been traveling, like you mentioned, to 80 countries, 6 continents. And then around the end of the trip, my wife's mom got quite sick. So unfortunately, we love your prayers, but she has stage 4 terminal lung cancer. So we love your prayers for that. And we came here for my wife's mom. So now we're based in La Union, where my wife's family is originally from. And we're there, and we're going to spend time with her aging parents. So yeah, we're there all for life.
So how is it going so far here in the Philippines for you? How are you adjusting? Was it a tough adjustment, or did it somehow pan out? You've been here how long?
Only 2 months so far. So it's an amazing country. You know, you guys are lucky to be living here. So in terms of the challenges and the struggles, when we were first in Manila, obviously you have the common struggles like the traffic and pollution. Being here, the poverty really struggled. I struggled with the poverty too. Seeing begging children and all that really impacts me even more than I can handle the traffic. I can handle the heat, but I cannot handle kids begging. So that really impacts me. But now we're in La Union, where there isn't as much traffic, and there isn't as much pollution, and there isn't as much begging kids. But there's other issues there, because it's a province, and I'm very much a city guy. So I struggle there because of boredom, and lack of stuff to do, and lack of foreigners, like a friend here, right? So, at the end of the day, like, when you see another foreigner, like I just met you right now, but we automatically connect. Just like when you guys go to another city, country, or continent, you guys connect when you see a fellow Filipino, right? So when we're in the province, I feel very lonely, very isolated, but we have the power of technology, social media, Skype, so I'm always connected with people, but it's very different when you're connected digitally and connected physically. So yeah, that's a little bit of the struggles and challenges.
Yeah, it's very well so far. Everyone's very hospitable, make me feel loved, and feel like actually like I belong here. So that's very positive, and I appreciate that. Of course, there's going to be struggles. Anything new you do, you're going to have fear. But again, it's like jumping into a pool or deep end. You just have to do it. You're never going to know if you don't come out and try.
Yeah, so that's actually the reason why we really have this kind of panel, because right now, what you're going through is what other overseas Filipinos are going through when they're in their host country. So this is something, so now you're telling it to us firsthand, because for me, as an overseas Filipino coming back here in the Philippines, I won't be able to relay that type of message because I'm already here. Now, I think it's a very good opportunity for everyone to see that it's also tough and it's a big adjustment. So, but what can you say about the Philippines now? I mean, what's your general uh, perception or what's your general comment about it? Do you think that there's a big future here? Or do you think that it's still a work in progress, but eventually maybe we will get there?
Yeah, I'll speak on the issue of travel because that's one of my big passions. So when the typical foreigner, they're traveling in Southeast Asia, they do the typical route, which is starting in Thailand, Bangkok, going to Chiang Mai, then Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, from there into Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and they usually end up skipping the Philippines. They might hit Korea and Japan, but for some reason the Philippines gets neglected. So I really feel in terms of tourism, there's a huge potential here. I mean, the tourism department, they have that amazing slogan, it's more fun in the Philippines. And, you know, it's right, isn't it? So I really feel that if more people knew about this amazing country, then they would come. So I feel that our job as ambassadors, as expats who are living here, as foreigners who are living here, is to really vocalize how incredible the Philippines is in terms of the people, of course. The people are why we travel and why we love or hate the place, right? I personally love the Philippines because of the people, firstly. And then, of course, like the food, I think a lot of people don't know about Filipino food. You're a chef, right? So a lot of people know sushi from Japan and bibimbap from Korea and pad thai from Thailand. And, you know all the famous foods, but they don't. Most foreigners, if I ask them in Canada, what's the most famous Filipino dish, they won't even know.
We're still waiting for adobo to take off.
Adobo and Jollibee, right? Jollibee's in Canada. There's some in there's one in Winnipeg and Toronto, and there's one in Seattle, which is not too far. So I think the food also, creating awareness of the food on a global level, that would be a great thing. And in terms of the natural beauty, the Philippines is a gorgeous place with all these islands, right? And the beaches and the history, the culture. So there's so much potential for this to be a huge, huge, huge tourist destination. So I just wanted to comment on that angle of the Philippines.
How about you, Manny? Are you liking the food so far?
Yeah, the food is delicious. The Philippines, to me, I believe it's a developing market, and there's many, many opportunities that are developing now. So as anything that's starting brand new, you want to get in right when it's beginning. So you can start to invest, and you can start to create something that wasn't already here. And I believe the Philippines is overlooked a lot when it comes to the rest of the world. I really didn't know much about the Philippines until I met Filipinos at work. You know, it's all they could talk about, the Philippines. And I was really excited, really interested, because it's really neglected as advertised to the rest of the world. Not a lot of people know where the Philippines is or what it's about. So as an emerging market, it's very good because you can start right now where there's not much, and there's actually a lot already started. So to get in now would be the perfect opportunity.
I couldn't agree more. Now that you mentioned about working with Filipinos, how is it so far? What's your experience? Of course, I'm sure there's pros and cons to it. I mean, every working with different cultures or different race would have the pros and cons. But generally, what's your idea on it? How is it to work with Filipinos?
One kind of reflection is the whole area of directness. You know, Americans, Canadians, we're very direct, especially New Yorkers, right?
That's correct.
Yes. So we're very direct, very direct. Canadians not as much, you know, we're a little bit more, I don't know, chill and all. But in terms of the Filipinos, I find, even my wife, she's not as direct. So I wish, and you know, we've had a lot of arguments, as every couple does, right? And we have all, as a mixed marriage, there's even greater degrees of struggle, but also greater degrees of blessing, because we're learning about each other's culture and personalities and genders. But because of the lack of directness, I find it frustrating, because I was like, if you really want something, just let me know. And you know, when I'm working with Filipinos or talking to them, I find that frustrating as a foreigner. But because I'm here, you gotta do as the Filipinos do, not as the Canadians do or the Americans do, right? So I have to kind of adjust to the culture I'm in. So I gotta be less direct, and I gotta be more learning how to be indirect and still express my message. And I find that quite tough, because I tend to have the personality of being direct, but also I come from a culture of directness. So I would say that has been my greatest challenge in my marriage, but also living here as an expat.
I'm sure you'll get around it. You'll learn from it.
I hope so. If you have any tips on that, I love some audience interaction. What tips do you have so we as foreigners can learn to be more indirect?
It's in the eyes.
Filipinos in general actually like to sugarcoat things.
Mm.
So when they want something, they use another route or a subtext so that but we'll have to guess what it is. So I think it's by nature Filipinos are people pleasers. So if something is tough to say up front, so we find we sugarcoat it and say it on the next one.
I think it's actually an Asian culture because also I was working in Taiwan. It's the same problem I dealt with because it's here we're already used to not telling it directly, but in Taiwan it's double that that level. So yeah, it's generally an Asian thing, but I'm sure as you spend more time with Asians, with Filipinos, you'll see that there's some art to learning it. How about you,
It's
Martin?
definitely a learning curve to get your point across without offending someone. So, in some aspects, it's respectable that everyone wants to have everyone very, not like treated well with one another. However, I believe a little creativity is lost when someone doesn't want to voice their opinion on something, especially in the kitchen. Let's say something's a certain way. If you want to change that, many people are afraid to step up and disrespect the person who's their superior, let's say, to maybe they have a better idea how to come across something in a different way.
Yeah, I believe that because, but we're also used to the Western type of leadership, right? That we are able to speak up, but sometimes, yeah, the culture gets in the way. All right. Do we have questions for the panel, for the panelists? Do you have questions here before I go to my next questions for them? So far, so
Or you
good.
can give us advice. We're a couple of foreigners right here, and we feel, kind of uncomfortable at times. We want to make Filipino friends. Like, I love making Filipino friends, but sometimes I find there's also the shyness factor. I know, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but Filipinos tend to be a little bit shy. Maybe even though they speak perfect English, they feel that they're not confident enough to speak English to a foreigner. But we're here because we want to meet you guys, right? We've come here because we want to connect and meet you guys, and I think because of maybe Western culture, we're very open to initiating. But one of my wishes is that the locals would also initiate. And sometimes when I'm in the street, I like smile. I'm pretty happy-go-lucky kind of guy, right? But I'll notice people look down when they see me, but I'm just smiling. So this is my one encouragement to you guys. If you see a foreigner, smile and say hi.
Yeah, don't be afraid to talk to one another because we are, at the end of the day, all humans.
Amen.
Yeah, that's true. But how do you have a question, Joey?
Have you guys eaten balut? You guys have been in 6 months, you've eaten once. Have you
Being a
eaten
chef, I have eaten
You
balut,
have, you
not
survived.
here in the Philippines, in New York, so it's not the same. So
with
I
the chicken?
with the baby chicken.
Okay. How about you?
Yes, it looks bad, but it tastes good.
Good, good, good. Yeah, that's well, I can't say because I also don't eat balat, but I also don't eat balut. So you guys are more Filipino than us, maybe. but yeah. So now let me talk to you about your business, Daddy Blogger. How do you intend to reach out to like your Filipino readers and even to your global readers?
Yeah, so with me in terms of work, and this topic wasn't covered too much today, but I believe in the whole concept of being a digital nomad. Who knows what that is? Okay, only a few hands have gone up. Okay, audience participation. Who does not know what a digital nomad is? Come on, be direct, be direct. Like two people? So it's either or it's somewhere in the middle. So, okay, I'll ask you another way. Who can define what a digital nomad is? Anyone want to shout it out? Okay, go ahead, shout it out.
can work from just about anywhere. That's basically the concept. It gives you more freedom, essentially.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of people are interested in being overseas Filipino, and they might be looking for a traditional job. But I want to just throw out this option as well. We live in the day and era of the internet, and it's the greatest place to make money in the world. So instead of looking for an employer, look to the internet, and you can make money in so many ways. Everything from starting your own e-commerce store, starting a blog, doing social media marketing, doing graphic design, doing website design, doing app development. You can do teaching. Filipinos are great English speakers. You can actually teach English as well, and you can make money from anywhere in the world, right? As long as you have a great Wi-Fi connection. So I want to throw that out there too. Like it's another option to become an overseas Filipino, not a worker, but an entrepreneur. Yeah, and in terms of my work, so I didn't answer that question. So I do a few different things. So Daddy Blogger is my personal brand. Come visit me over there at the booth. But I also do private coaching. I teach people about social media, blogging, internet marketing, how to be a digital nomad. I do online courses. That's another way to make money online too. Udemy, Udemy. It's the biggest educational platform in the world. So Udemy. I also have 4 Kindle books. You can get one there, but also people are buying on Amazon all the time too. Based on what I've done, I've created something called multiple streams of income, or in more colloquial terms, it's like octopus income. You're the octopus, and you're reaching out to different places on the internet and collecting money. So you're collecting money from eBay, or from Amazon, or from Kindle, from Udemy, from your blog, from YouTube, through YouTube ad revenue, podcasts, through sponsors, through advertisers. So really the list is endless in terms of income options. On a personal note, so daddyblogger.com is my personal blog. I write about fatherhood and family. And how can I apply it here in the Philippines? Well, I'm quite famous, quote unquote, in Canada or the US. If you search on Google for a fatherhood or a dad blog, I show up right there on the first page, first position of Google. Well, here in the Philippines, like, nobody knows me, which is good and bad, right? Like, I love just being, invisible amongst the billions of people. But at the same time, I want to create awareness. I really believe in this whole thing about empowering dads more and supporting them. Even in the Philippines, there's lack of resources for fathers. So that's why I've developed my whole brand around equipping and educating and supporting fathers in any country, any continent in the world, including the Philippines. Basically, the goal here is to create more awareness of what I'm doing, and also, empower fathers to be the best they can be, especially in light of Father's Day tomorrow.
Well, that's true what you've mentioned. Being a digital nomad is somehow can somehow help overseas Filipinos to explore more options. Because when you're a digital nomad, you remove the barriers, or you remove the borders of, instead of being geographically based somewhere, right? And you can spend more time with the family. So I think it's a great option. How about you, Manny? How has the culture here in the Philippines influenced your cuisine?
Well, again, the culture is very open, I would say, even though it's somewhat reserved. So again, with your food, you have to match the culture. You have to match the ingredients. You have to try to get the freshest local ingredients you can. So for me, it was a challenge coming from New York, where you have everything at your fingertips, everything imported. You can do anything your heart desires, to really kind of getting down back to your basic roots of learning what you can do with certain types of foods, and what you can do with things that you don't have, how you can incorporate different things, and how you can just adjust to the palate of the Filipino, which is very different than the rest of the world.
Our palate is quite has a inclination to be very sweet stuff. Is that correct, or no? Not really.
Right. It's
Do you like our spaghetti?
sweet and salty. But the more time I spend in the Philippines, I find my palate is also changing to sweet and salty as well. I don't know if it's the atmosphere or the temperature, but many different things affect how people eat in certain regions.
Right. More questions or observations?
I was supposed to ask you a while ago. I wasn't able to, but For the first part of the session, I wanted to ask about, like you were talking about, Filipinos talking to you and stuff. Sometimes I find it awkward when I talk to foreigners, and I feel like I can't stop myself from, like, asking, oh, for example, like he came from New York, and I would keep on asking, like, how's it in New York? How's it being like this? How's it being like that? And I feel like I'm blushing, sort of. Like, do you ever get tired of that? Like, do you ever get tired of talking about your roots or having to re-explain to everyone? Or you're more than willing? Does it bother you?
Well, for me, it doesn't bother me because, again, I'm someone new. I'm meeting a lot of new people. So, again, you may have to repeat yourself here and there, but again, it's who you are. So, it's nothing to be ashamed about, nothing to be annoyed about when people ask you, because people are curious. As it's our nature as human beings. We're curious. We want to know. And of course, I would have the same kind of questions. I would ask the same questions to different people. So, for me, I think it's not a big deal. I think it actually makes me happy people are interested. And yeah.
It's a good sign when they start probing for questions that they are interested.
It makes you feel important.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. We love talking about our own countries because we're patriots of our country. Even though we are expats here in the Philippines, we love the Philippines and we love being ambassadors of the Philippines, but we also love being ambassadors of New York. I love being an ambassador of Vancouver, Canada. So I love talking about come to the Rocky Mountains, come to the Niagara, come see the beauty of the amazing country of Canada. So I get excited and passionate when I talk about my country, just like you guys are patriots. So are we, right? We hold the maple leaf close to our hearts. Definitely I encourage you. Most people are going to want to talk about their country, their culture, their food. Ask a Canadian, what is the most famous food? Ask a Canadian, what's there to see? Ask a New Yorker, is the pizza called New York pizza here as good as New York pizza back in New York? The answer is no.
I think, yeah, that's also the same feeling that I get when people in Taiwan ask me about our mangoes, about our beaches. I mean, when they ask me that question, I won't stop talking about it because it's how you connect from your hometown. I mean, right? It's the feeling of being back or talking about home again. All right. So thank you so much, Manny and Ricky. It has been a pleasure, and I really hope that you get to explore the Philippines more and more. And having you here, I believe, will make Filipinos understand that it's not, the only option is not to leave because there are more people coming in, and they feel good about it, right? All right, thank you so much.
So, Ricky, where can we buy your books if we're interested?
Yeah, because I'm an internet marketer, I buy them on the internet, but you won't have to pay the shipping and handling if you come to my table, and you won't get a signature when you buy it on Amazon. So here's your chance, come to my table, get a signature, personalize it to the dad in your life, and bless a dad for Father's Day tomorrow.
Okay. And then, Manny, if we want to try and attempt to have our meals catered by you, is it affordable? Can we afford it? How can we reach you?
Yes, I do private chef events with me and my wife. So yeah, you can come contact me after this or find us on,
follow you on Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah,
What's
Chef
your
Manolis.
Instagram handle?
Chef Manolis.
Chef Manolis. So follow Chef Manolis on Instagram. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Salamat po.